The next 2 or 3 decades could be make or break for the future of our planet. Dirty fuels and plastics are 2 big challenges, but in fact, they are useful. So simply getting rid of them isn't the solution. We need to replace them with environmentally friendly alternatives. And lucky for us, there are a lot of clever innovations and inventions out there that could help make the world a better place, and not just for us humans. Welcome to Eco Africa. I'm Neo Taigwe in Lagos, Nigeria. And here's a look at what we have lined up on the show today. Parties are fun, but cleaning up is another matter. A clever confetti spares you the trouble. In Mali, solar power is helping people to realize their dreams without having to leave home. And in Ghana, a mobile app is making waste management more efficient and lucrative for people whose livelihoods depend on it. Our first report showcases one of the world's greatest waste disposal services. I'm talking about one provided by Vultures. These scavengers are not only willing, they are eager to do the dirty work of cleaning up carcasses found in the wild. There are about 23 different species of the bird across the world, but sadly, far too many of them are under threat. And that is a problem because vultures play a vital role in keeping ecosystems healthy, which makes them well worth protecting. Let's take a look.
Over half of Africa's 11 vulture species are teetering on the brink of extinction. The environmental NGO Nature Kenya has been observing the development in East Africa. It's distressing because without these scavengers, dead animals would rot wherever they dropped, and that could upset entire ecosystems.
Vultures are very much important in cleaning the environment. We call them the nature's undertaker. They clean the environment, all the dead carcasses, and by doing this, they stop the spread of diseases like anthrax, botulism, and all that.
Nature Kenya introduced the vulture conservation program in the Masai Mara Nature Reserve in 2014. Its aim is to spread awareness of the crucial role vultures play. This group of Masai work is Nature Kenya's Vulture Ambassadors. They explain to villagers when a dead cow or goat is poisoned by agrochemicals in order to kill predators that threaten their livestock. All of the animals that feed on the carcass are poisoned, and that includes a lot of vultures.
So as a vulture volunteer, I usually go to each my region, for example, in my location. I usually go take some data concerning human-wildlife conflict. When there is a conflict, I go settle that issue before it's poisoned. We actually sometimes take the carcasses of those let's say killed animals, and we put them aside, and you can actually talk to the owner of the animal not to poison it. Yeah.
Support from villagers and their leaders is key to the NGO's campaign. The assistant chief of one village tells us that battles between humans and animals are an ongoing issue in the Talek area.
There is a lot of conflict. Animals are being killed by lions, hyenas, or leopards. And people are also getting killed by elephants, buffaloes, and lions. That danger presents a serious challenge for us. We have a conflict incident every day.
But too often, the main victims of these conflicts are vultures, and that's the environmentalists' message. To put an end to the agonizing deaths, Nature Kenya also cooperates with the Mara Reserve's rangers.
I think the biggest challenge is in the issue of reporting, like cases of poisoning. We normally don't get a lot of reports from the community because they know that it's a crime, and so a lot of these cases go unreported.
But reporting the cases would give the conservationists a chance to save the birds. That's why keeping communication channels open is important.
The approaches we use are basically talking. We discuss because we don't assume that they don't know. They know something. So what we do is to add on whatever they know and basically to create awareness.
Also supported by BirdLife International, the program is focused mainly on East Africa because that's where vulture death rates are especially high. The campaign's push to improve the exchange of information is now starting to yield results.
We are getting reports on human-wildlife conflict and also responses to vultures poisoning. And by this, some vultures have been saved because there is poisoning response protocol that is being followed in case of any wildlife poisoning incident.
This year, an international initiative was launched with the goal of reducing vulture mortality in Africa by 50% within the next decade. But for it to work, it's vital that the local communities are also on board.
And now from the birds to the bees. Like vultures, bees are also in danger as toxic pesticides used in agriculture are causing them to die off at unprecedented rates. One startup has come up with a neat idea to help these important pollinators. The company's 3 founders developed an insect-friendly flower seed mixture that you don't need to plant. They've created combustible confetti that can simply be thrown to the wind. It's not only easy, it's fun too. Let's take a look at this week's Doing Your Bit.
When humans gather to celebrate, they often throw confetti to liven up the party. But for many bees and other insects, the party is over. Due to industrial agriculture, many of the plants they need to survive are being lost. Philip Weyer wants to give bees a helping hand. So he and some friends have created biodegradable confetti made from starch. And they add to the mix seeds of 26 local flower species. The entrepreneurs hope that happy humans will toss the eco-friendly confetti in urban areas, thereby creating additional foraging options for bees and other insects.
We can renaturate during a celebration, and that means that first the humans celebrate and then the nature does.
A fun and delightful way to preserve biodiversity.
And how about you? If you're also doing your bit, tell us about it. Visit our website or send us a tweet. #DoingYourBit. We share your stories.
Wow, what a wonderful idea. Flower power for the environment, that's a good one. But let's move on to another great green idea. Eco-friendly construction projects that are also designed to cope with the threat posed by climate change. Rising sea levels are making headlines everywhere, but particularly in places like the Netherlands, where a quarter of the country already lies below sea level. Some architects in Amsterdam thought it would make sense to build floating houses. The results are pretty impressive. Let's see this.
Living on water in the city centre. One day, more than 100 people will live on this side canal in Amsterdam. Marcus Schmidt and his wife Yvonne van Zaak are among the first residents.
It's a different way of life here. All this light, the water sparkles and reflects everywhere.
Exactly. It actually seems more extreme.
And somehow, you're closer to nature. When the wind blows and you open the door, a gust of wind will come rushing into your face. So everything arrives pretty directly here.
Their house is one of a total of 30 buildings which are part of the project Strandstrip Amsterdam. Each building has its own design. But they all have one thing in common. They float on special concrete rafts, fastened onto pillars. The swimming foundation needs to be able to carry several hundred tons and must therefore be balanced precisely by architects like Jorrit Howard.
Up front, you have to calculate everything that you put on the boat, how heavy it will be, because if you put in too much weight, it will be too low, and then the water starts to come in. So that's why we make a lot of calculations up front, how heavy the boat will be in the end.
20 different architects were involved in the project. The houses were built on land and then brought to the dock by boat. Sustainability is particularly important to the inhabitants. Schrontrip translates into clean ship.
What we wanted to achieve is to show that you can live on water with very sustainable houses, and in a sustainable way in the sense that we as a community. So we had very high levels of what we wanted to show to Amsterdam and to the world, actually.
Like all the buildings, Per de Rijk's house is supplied with self-produced solar power. Sustainable and eco-friendly materials were used for the houses. The facade of de Rijk's is made from cork.
We had loads of discussions with the whole group, and we had help from different advisors on materials. So we ended up with a list, a green list, an orange list and a red list. Red list was a no-go. Orange was okay if you really have to because of cost reasons or technical reasons, but preferably try to use only materials from the green list. So cork was on the green list, and we liked it very much, so that was our choice to do so.
Living on water has a long tradition in Amsterdam. Houseboats can be seen on almost every canal. One of the first floating districts was built a couple of years ago in the district of Aalborg. 50 houses on artificial islands. Now the trend is arriving in other European cities. In London, for example, where British architects Bakker are planning floating homes in the Royal Docks. Copenhagen has responded to a lack of affordable student housing with the so-called urban rigger, 12 floating houses designed by star architect Bjarke Engels. Bjarke Engels doesn't shy away from even greater visions. A floating city for 10,000 people in regions threatened by climate change. In Amsterdam, demand is on the rise too.
I think there's a really big potential on building on water. We see we have some requests from all over the world, from New York, who's looking to live on the water, Baltimore. In the Netherlands, there are several areas where they are building houses and communities, over 50 to 100 to 200 houses even.
For Yvonne van Zaak and Marcus Schmidt, this vision has become a reality. 150 square metres, 2 floors, a roof garden, almost like a house in the countryside. But there is one difference. Their home sways.
It was a little weird at first.
I haven't felt sick yet, but I did have a day where I thought, I need to set foot on some solid ground. But it's a small price to pay for their dream of living on water.
If you are a regular viewer of our show, you'll know that lots of people in Africa do not have access to electricity. It's not just that they can't turn on the lights and power at the flip of a switch. Electricity also drives business, and without it, people are deprived of valuable opportunities. Many resort to buying diesel generators, but of course they aren't environmentally friendly. How much better if the electricity comes from a renewable source? One startup from Germany is bringing solar power into remote areas of Niger and Mali. Let's see this.
Residents in the village of Sirakoro in southwestern Mali are getting ready to welcome visitors. The village has never had electricity. Now that's about to change, thanks to Torsten Schreiber and his wife, Aida. They're the founders of a company called Africa Green Tech. They arrive to great fanfare. Their company brings solar power plants to remote villages in the Sahel region. Everyone here has been looking forward to this day for a long time.
It's such a relief to finally achieve this and make it possible for the people here.
This has taken nearly 9 months of preparation. When the moment finally comes where you know, now it's happening, tomorrow there'll be light, it's a great relief.
While the villagers celebrate, the Malian technicians from Africa Green Tech set to work. There's lots to do before the lights can go on. After the long journey, every component needs checking. The container spent 6 months at the customs office, followed by a long drive lasting many days over sandy roads. The solar system costs €150,000. The hope is it will strengthen the local economy.
To make a solar plant like this worthwhile, you need a village with at least 4,000 to 5,000 residents. We also look very closely at whether there's potential for a productive use of the electricity. Unlike home solar power providers, our focus is on strengthening small and medium-sized businesses. So we want to know, are there carpenters and welders and tailors here? And we look for 40 or 50 small and medium-sized businesses.
Potenzielle kleine und mittelständische Unternehmer haben.
Aida Schreiber was born in Mali. She's particularly keen to help the women here. Many of them sell goods. She wants them to benefit from the new supply of electricity too.
Most of the problems that the women here have stem from the fact that they have no access to education. As a result, they're much more focused on having children, and the birth rates go up and up. What Africa Green Tech does is offer them an opportunity to receive training and improve their chances of earning money.
If the economy in the village improves, the residents will also have more money to invest in their children's education. So beyond providing electricity, it's also about improving the villagers' prospects. In the village of Joliba, a 5-hour drive away, that's already evident. Here, a solar plant from Africa Green Tech has been operating for 2 years now, and the local economy is flourishing. Umar Keita runs a restaurant on the main road that leads to Mali's capital, Bamako. He also has a workshop and a chicken farm.
I was already on my way to Spain, but when I heard that electricity was coming to Joliba, I came back and opened this restaurant. And thank God I'm now earning enough.
Umar Keita has also created jobs, providing a secure income for many other families in the village. Aida and Thorsten Schreiber keep contact with customers like Umar Keita to learn from their experiences. His success is confirmation that they're on the right path. Back in Sirakoro, the work is nearing completion. The last few streetlights are being hooked up. Some who were previously undecided now want to sign a contract with the company, as they see things are really happening. Salif Konate's wife sells vegetables and poultry, so he wants electricity in his house.
I signed the contract because I want to buy a fridge. Then my wife will be able to keep her produce fresh for longer and get a better price for it. My children will be able to study better, and life here will be safer.
Customers do have to pay for the electricity, but it costs a lot less than power from the diesel generators that are so widespread in Africa. It takes about 15 years for the company to get the money back on its investment. 18 solar containers are already up and running, including one in neighbouring Niger. 4 more are on their way to Africa.
What motivates us as founders is wanting to make a mark, bring change, and inspire others to follow suit. For me personally, helping the environment is key. I want my children to know that I at least tried to change things and didn't just watch as everything got worse.
Towards evening, everything is finally set up. The control systems for the batteries are tested once more to ensure there will also be power when it gets dark.
That was an important moment. If the storage systems weren't working, that would have been it. But now we can produce light.
Another topic frequently featured on Eco Africa is waste management, which in several countries here on the continent is either badly organized or non-existent. In West Africa, one startup has developed an app to help improve the efficiency of collecting and recycling waste. Could the idea catch on elsewhere too? Many people in Ghana are already using it.
Just a quick click and the waste collectors are on the road. An Accra-based company is always on call to pick up its clients' plastic waste. And not only does the recycling firm collect the waste, it also pays for it. The bags are weighed, the amount entered into the app, and the money transferred right to the client's mobile account.
Now that the app is there, any time of the day, in the morning, in the night, anytime I can make a request on the app and place my request. Then once they are ready to pick, they contact me and they pick up the plastics.
Coliba's small collection trucks have been zipping around Accra's streets for 3 years. Every month they collect over 12 tons of plastic waste from regular customers around 2,500 households. Prince Agbata teamed up with a friend for the project.
Coliba is a mobile platform that puts recycling services at people's fingertips. They can know the closest drop-off center, they can request for a pickup, and then it comes to our center and our rangers pick them up, bring them to these sorting and processing facilities where they are recycled into new products.
At the company's processing sites, the plastic is first sorted and shredded. Then, the resulting flakes and pellets are sold on to companies in Ghana and Europe. 80% of the staff is female. The women say they are able to earn a livable wage from the work here.
We usually do 3 or 4 sacks in a day. That is a lot of money in Ghana. We have a company doctor, we have health insurance, and we have life insurance too in the company. When we call the company doctor, he attends to us and gives us medication. The company buys the medicine for us.
Coliba also buys plastic waste from women who collect it in the streets and deliver it themselves. It has become an important source of income for 68-year-old Rosalind Tete and her family.
It helped me to buy my credits for my meter. I have my own meter. So I buy for credits and then use it for my grandchildren's food. When they ask me to give them some food, the money is there, so I will just go for the money. I won't ask anybody to borrow me. That is why I work hard to get something put down for them.
Several times a week, Rosalind Tete takes what she has collected and prepared to a Coliba drop center. One is just a kilometer from her home. She delivers 80 to 100 kilos a month to the company. With no smartphone, she prefers to be paid in cash.
The payments, there are options. It can be in cash, it can be food items, whichever you desire. But I think most of them go in for the money, because some use it to pay their light bills, water bills, school feeding and other things. And then we have a package for kids which covers their fees.
Businesses are also supporting the recycling model. The Asase radio station has signed up for the services and has installed collection bins on its premises, which others can use.
We are hoping to do even bigger things together. We will follow them into when they need to do the outreaches and stuff like that. Asase Radio will be there to give the support so that more and more people are educated until
the practice becomes a habit.
The recycling service also gets waste from garbage dumps. To accommodate the growing volume of plastic, the company recently acquired a large piece of land on the outskirts of the city.
Well, I hope that if you don't already recycle your rubbish, that this will persuade you to start. Do be sure to join us again next week for more inspiring green ideas. And remember, you can always visit our website or share your thoughts and comments with us on Twitter and Facebook. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. I'm Neo Taigwe, signing off from Lagos, Nigeria. Bye-bye.